There we go. Hey everyone, I'm MT Paridi. It's good to see you all. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Yes, I do speak a lot about mental illness and trauma, so trigger warning up front for that. And I'll introduce myself with a poem called The Poet of My Mind. I'm the poet of my mind, which means I can't be trusted. Searching out to find, so the prints have all been dusted. Leaving clues and evidence, breadcrumbs on the ground portends a path that might just have an end despite the ups and downs and bends. You can come along and follow, on a journey ground is hollow, every breath feels like it's borrowed, dread that death collects in sorrow. Fear tomorrow, fear today, fear is clearly in the way, blocking here with flood of tears, blurring vision, buzzing ears. Commandeering parts I needed when so young on trauma feeded, until I broke and conceded to advice I finally heeded. Plans were changed, all rearranged, therapy to curb the strange, thoughts and meds to shrink the range on the spectrum of deranged. Seemed so plain, so obvious to everyone around, but I was blind, stuck in my mind like 6 feet underground. Dead man walking, body chalking, never pitching, always balking, said man talking, rambling, anything that random brings, tattered, torn, and shambling, head like eggs are scrambling. This is your brain on drugs of a kind, to entertain and delve deep in my mind, peel back the layers and look past the rind. I truly do hope that you like what you find. That's even better. All right, speaking of what you'll find, there's some trauma here. This is a childhood trauma piece. One of the things I try to do is, I hope you like rhyme, because I rhyme, the whole set rhymes. I try to present some of these more darker, deeper, traumatic experiences in playful tones and sounds. So almost nursery rhyme-ish. So that's what I'm going for with this piece. It's called Before. Will you come away with me to a place that was before? Before wet beds, before smacked heads, before the fear was at the door? Will you come away with me before the tears and screams? Before we knew the skies were blue or grass was seen as green? Before we're taught all kinds of words, where is was all there was? Just sights and sounds, the bright and loud, the focus and the fuzz? Will you come away to when teeth just meant a smile? Before the bites, before the fights, guess this could take a while. We'll have to go to way, way back to when the sleep was safe. I'll try to give an exact day. I don't recall the precise date. I guess that we'll just have to say. Before the whispers in the night, still okay without the light. Before be still, before the hush, where blood was bond and family trust. So will you come away with me? Please, truth, no lie, just stay with me. To share your care and day with me. Conspire and breathe your air with me. I need someone to tell me please when hope was real and there was bliss. Pain just from some scraped up knees then blown away with but a kiss. Was there a time when innocence was natural as the rage? Before we burn these bridges down that placed us in this cage? You'll need to come and break me free and weave your wild words. You'll sing and laugh and dance with me. We'll swirl and spin and twirl. The winds are hurricanes of me, so spread your arms out wide. They'll take us to before we knew. For safety, you should hide. In 2020, I lost my mom to complications related to her mental illness. And I was a really angry kid. And if you've ever heard, step on a crack, break your mother's back, the whole idea was to avoid cracks. But I was so angry, I looked for them. And this is a piece making up for that. It's called Avoiding the Cracks, making up for all the times I sought them out. Shifting, shrinking, or stretching my stride, allowing a beat interruption. My feet get the hiccups, subtle foot pickups, to not step on cracks of corruption. A hip and a hop and a scotch to avoid all of those times I wanted destroyed. My mom's brittle back, a small hurting boy, lacking the strength and missing the joy. Regretting, forgetting, upsetting myself, memories flood me, old books off the shelf. Just a kid little prick, I was seeking them out. Proof I was sick, tapping cracks all around. Stutter step stomping, rip roar romping, so angry and sad, just my childhood chomping, chewed up and spit out, well that's how it felt when my body was covered with welts from a belt. Hunting for hurt, wanting her too to suffer, tried making it worse for the back of my mother, compounding the curse, wanting to uncover if it was worth the early loss of the other. Now hoping there's nothing, no truth to the rhyme, that I didn't add pain or take away time, I probably didn't increase the weight, unwilling or willingly seal off her fate. Could I have contributed to her demise? The question it haunts me, myself I despise. No way to know, so adjusting my stride. Now that I'm grown, I might as well try to not step on cracks, I couldn't say why, but I'll break up my beat as a final goodbye. Speaking of breaking up my beat, let's change the tempo and the tone a little bit. This is an Ars Poetica piece, which is writing on writing or a poem on poetry. This is about my process. It's called Craft and Catharsis. First the feeling, then the thought. First the seeking, then the sought. First the lesson, then the taught. First the trap, and then I'm caught. They come in a flood, a storm, a gale, a hurricane, and never fail. They live in my blood since formed and frail, a taste of insane, I weep and wail. And that's all before a single word knocks on the door is ever heard, comes from the core, takes flight a bird, wants less and wants more, it sounds absurd. Just how it goes again and again in passionate throes with page and with pen, my friends and my foes, the why and the when, and nobody knows just how this will end. And finally, catharsis it comes, before any crafting begins. Don't want to be a farce or all thumbs, so I weave and while laughing it spins. The world it goes on and it seems so do I, then there's a bit of relief. But it doesn't last long, slow to right, quick to wrong, cause after it's gone there's grief. After the release I stare at the mess, wondering what I wrote down. Sort through each piece, don't care I confess, blundering up the profound. So I rearrange the words and the sounds, matching the rhythm inside. A beat that repeats, adds to, then deletes. At least I can say that I tried. Catharsis, then craft. Gotta get it out first, just splatter it onto the page. In scratches and scribbles, sweat, blood, and dribbles. Tears too, all this just to engage. Speaking of engaging, this is about just how everything kind of is overwhelming. Oh, it can be overwhelming. It's called Resonance. It's got a slightly different rhyme scheme to it. Plucked like a string, I vibrate and agitate the air around me. All the things that surround me amplify my output, carrying the currents of the aching, shaking, quaking waves that radiate from my skin, a low electrical hum from within. Worrying, stirring, and blurring the lines between me and everything else. Yes, everything felt. Resonance, simply the hand I was dealt. Speaking of the hand I was dealt, this next piece is called A Disordered Soul, Tossed Side to Side. Disorder of borders I cross without orders, one side to the other, extreme just like hoarders. Recorders record but slow-mo like a tortoise, and Goldilocks simple, I'm hot or cold porridge. Needing more storage and needing more RAM, causing a shortage and shocking my fam, tied up in cordage, my feet in my hands, laid on my mortgage, must wander the land. To stay in the center, it seems like a dream. Exit the enter, yes, always obscene. My own tormentor with torturous scheme, crazy inventor creating a scene. Causing the chaos that comes in between, always display us in brightest of beam. You couldn't pay us to join on your team. No way to make us when all that you've been is stingy and nasty, so ghostly and ghastly. Treat me like shit and then make me the patsy. Try to outlast the tempest inside. Try to see past me, move with the tide. Starting to splash me after I've dried. All of these paths seem like something I've tried. Nothing is new, not under the sun. Nothing to do, now under the gun. Nothing comes through, my brain it is done. If nothing is chasing, then why do I run? As if I have two restless legs, the friction is dangerous, a powdered keg. Dealing with crazy stuff, making me beg. Feeling is making us crack like an egg. Just a square peg forced in a hole. It isn't a fit for this disordered soul. Isn't the pick for this resonant roll. This little prick is sick, get him a bowl. He's heaving and lurching, oh this is the worst thing to happen to anyone since that old birth thing. Now I am bursting, a wild ride, dried out and thirsting, everything tried. Back to the first thing I should just hide when caught up in cursing and tossed side to side. Thank you. One thing to do when feeling that way and tossed side to side like that is a good cry, especially a soundless shout. I don't know if you've ever had a nice, quiet sob, but that's kind of what this piece is about. It's called a soundless shout. Resentments fill my temples and I cannot rub them out, suspended in examples of a soundless shout. Mouth agape but silent, some weeping must be quiet, heaving, sobbing, bobbing shoulders, you should really try it. Riots in the streets of me, can't get safe and can't get free, so much for just let it be, eyes are open, still can't see. Blind behind and now supine, on my back and so not fine, lying down right on a mine, trigger finger cross the line. Then I'm stuck in memories, opposite of reveries, mournful music, melodies, off tune this loon should never be. Better see myself out now, feeling cut off from the Tao, don't know why and don't know how I'm gonna stop this life of foul. Howl and holler, be a bother, lean in, begin, or wind up fodder. Getting hotter, oh so close, almost got rid of the ghost that haunts and taunts me with the toast to feeling all the feelings most. Thank you. Just got a couple more. How are we doing on time? We good?
You're good.
All right, cool. This next one, it's my response to how are you? It's called Fine. Been chasing imagination, yet I can't seem to catch it. Doesn't quite get in reach, an itch, but I can't scratch it. Ratchet up the feelings, what's around me, I must match it. This garment I've been wearing, it is holy, I should patch it. Holy like with holes in it, not holy like a saint. The furthest thing, if anything, a saint is what I ain't. So much life I've squandered, so much life I've wasted, so much life to ponder over all the things I've tasted. Forbidden fruit is sweetest when it's plucked right from the tree. When society's elitist, gatekeep what should be free. We cannot let it defeat us, that's no way that we should be. Gotta teach them how to treat us, gotta show them how to see. Easy for me to say it, it's the doing that is hard. Follow throughing, staying truing is so grueling, play your card. You gotta ante up, there's no sitting on the side. In the game with none to blame and no getting off the ride. So I tried and tried again, but it seems my hands are tied. And when I say I'm fine, well then, you'll know that I have lied.
Okay.
Thank you. This next piece is called Fidgeting. Something I do a lot. You can ask my wife. Can't seem to stop. I'm up here fidgeting. A mind that's a mess and a body that's able. Fidget and fidget, can't wish it away, and I've got no business saying that I'm okay, always stuck in it like knee-deep in clay, never quite finished at the end of the day. I toss and I turn and I twist cause I missed on the chance cause my glance was focused on my fist, clenching it tight, oh my God, I am pissed. Where do I start? I could go down the list. Diagnosis or trauma, a dash or a comma, it probably comes down to the son of my mama. So what are you gonna do with this news? I'm a lot boiled pot, cannot stop, lit my fuse. Will you refuse me a place at your table? Make room for someone like me in your fable? Can you digest that I'm more than a label? A mind that's a mess and a body that's able? Or are you like Cain with all his disdain? Kill a bro you don't know, leave him sacrificed, slain. It sounds so insane that we turn on our kind, that we tighten the bind around our eyes till we're blind. I'd say it's a sign, all this angst that we ride, it points to the fact that we can't pick a side. Chastise and chide me for trying to hide, but I'm so upset that I can't trust my guide. Petition denied, best to stay inside, at least by myself there's no shame and I tried. So I'll just sit in it and fidget alone, give it a home in my vibrating bones. Now that I've shown all the darkness I own, will you please leave me to it, just reap what I've sown? And thank you. I'll end with this one, a little bit on a more hopeful note. So it's called Grief Needs Many Hands. Don't carry it alone. Judging, smudging people's page, bottle burst from shaky rage, clean the aura, burn the sage, play your role, the world's a stage. Disengage and slam the door. God, this cycle's such a bore. I know inside there's so much more. Life feels like pain, oh, such a chore. Eating others, carnivore. Tear apart because we are torn. Staying separate, shattered, shorn since the day that we were born. Mourning by yourself is heavy. Overflow and flood the levees. Drowning in emotions, heady. Barely keep upright and steady. Needing many hands, the plans to get you out of sorrow land where everything, that place where everything is bland, back on your feet will help you stand. Yes, you can, but not alone. You're gonna need your tribe. That's why we're here, to bring you home. We'll be right by your side. Please don't push the help away. I know the grief is deep, but if you let us carry too, it won't be yours to keep. Thank you so much for letting me do this. Deborah, thank you for doing this every month. Jack, and those things. Love you all.